As soon as the movie starts, we see the destroyed world. The world was destroyed by artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence, that is AI, was created by humans to help them. The same artificial intelligence broke all the rules of its security and launched an atomic attack on Bangalore, in which more than 50,000 people were killed. The world was not yet out of the shock of this attack that AI started launching attacks everywhere. In these attacks, more than 10% of the people were killed. Now the danger of destruction had increased a lot. It was necessary to stop artificial intelligence. That's why the government created a military force called ICN, whose job was to save humans from the destruction of artificial intelligence, and above all, to save them from Harlan. Harlan was the first AI terrorist to start this war. It was created to make the Earth better, but it started destroying the Earth. The ICN Defense Force does its job very well and destroys AI in a matter of days. Seeing itself defeated, Harlan leaves the world and leaves a message behind that I will end what I started. That is, the world was not yet out of danger. The story goes on, and we are shown the time after 28 years. In these 28 years, there was almost peace and tranquility in the world. But now ICN did not know about the existence of an AI in this world. That's why ICN saved a building where it began scanning all existing humans with its scanner. And there it found an artificially enhanced human. This is not the same human, but it was artificial intelligence. It has modified it and its powers to make it slave. ICN starts catching it, but it was so powerful that it was able to pick up trained, powerful soldiers of ICN like toys. This man's name was Casca, with whom these people with great difficulty get control by giving electric shocks. The scene is cut, and we are introduced to Atlas, their main character and ICN's terrorist analyst, who used to investigate artificial intelligence or any other terrorist. He had already done a lot of research on AI terrorists. He knew everything about them. In the morning, he gets a news that ICN has caught Harlan's assistant, Casca. Hearing Harlan's name, Atlas got scared. She quickly gets ready and leaves for ICN with her officer in a ship. Now we meet the general, who was in a meeting with the colonel about a special mission. He says that he has full confidence in Atlas. His research on artificial intelligence is very good. I am sure he knows a lot about Harlan, but the colonel was not ready to work with him because he did not get along with the people. If he fails to interview Casca today, then we will never be able to reach his mastermind Harlan. But even after hearing all this, the general still wanted to give this job to Atlas. He now meets Atlas and tells him that Harlan is definitely going to play a big game. He has a big plan in his mind, which can pose a big threat to Earth. And to know all these things, you only have one chance to do a very good investigation on Casca. After hearing all this, Atlas goes to the room where Casca's head was placed. She starts the investigation. After asking a lot of questions, she asks Casca for Harlan's address. But Atlas was angry that he did not open his mouth on any of his questions. Atlas gives him a lot of energy and also threatens to reset him. He was not going to listen if he threatened. That's why Atlas had already started working on resetting him. And while threatening him, he lets him know about Harlan. That Harlan is on a planet in another galaxy at this time. As a result, Casca's plan was failing. That's why he attacks Atlas. But before that, Atlas had already made a security shield in front of him. After asking Harlan's address, he gives him an electric shock and kills him. With that, the entire team of ICN was impressed with him. Because Atlas did what ICN couldn't do for so many years. That Atlas did it today. He found out about Harlan. Now ICN's plan was to get to Harlan and kill him. There will be no Harlan, and there will be no danger in the world. Atlas also requests the colonel to be a part of this mission, and says that I want to see Harlan die with my own eyes. That's why the colonel introduces Atlas to the colonel who was the head of this mission. Because Atlas was not a stranger, the colonel did not agree to take him on the mission. Now Atlas tells him that you are making a lot of mistakes. You don't know anything about Harlan, and then you think that if you go to another planet near Harlan and kill him, then this is your misunderstanding, Colonel. You will also kill your ICN team with you. Remember, you can't complete this mission without me. Hearing Atlas, the Colonel now introduces him to a robot. This robot was actually a suit for which the Rangers would sit inside and fight the AI, and this robot was connected to humans through a Neuralink device. It turns out that this Neuralink device was made by Atlas's mom who was a scientist at ICN. Hearing about this device, he starts yelling at the colonel. But the colonel relaxes him and says that I want whatever happened to your mom. But this device is absolutely safe because it has been modified. The colonel explains to him that it is through these big robots and his very big spaceship that we will be able to destroy the entire planet. But I don't know why, Atlas still has a fear in his heart. He insists on going on his mission with the colonel. The colonel agrees, and this colonel has to take him with him on the mission. As soon as his spaceship comes out of the Earth, we see that a lot of laser security was made on the Earth. After doing a lot of checking with this high-tech security, this spaceship came out of the atmosphere of the Earth. The purpose of making this high-tech security was also that Harlan could not reach the world. Atlas was still working in this spaceship. That's when he suddenly remembers his past. So here we will see the story of Atlas's past. Suddenly a photo appears in front of him, in which he was his mom and Harlan. Harlan was an AI made by his mom, and he used to work as a servant at his house. Atlas's mom had also made this neural link device through which artificial intelligence and humans could be created. Such a person's mental and physical powers could be doubled or tripled. These people were using this neural link today. With their spaceship, this team of Ice King was about to reach his planet in the galaxy of Harlan. So Atlas holds a meeting for all of them. He gives them some printouts and tells everyone to take out their neural link. According to him, this was just an ordinary device that was very easy to hack. He tells everyone about the planet of Harlan, that it is such a planet where humans cannot survive. Before he tells more about Harlan, he notices that people are talking about her. This Atlas is thinking more about Harlan. In response to his words, Atlas was angry. He says, "What do you know about Harlan? I know Harlan very well. You are so confident about the neural link device and the robot. Let me remind you that both of them are just devices and can be hacked at any time. And if your devices are hacked, then you are nothing in front of it." After hearing this, all of them got scared. So Colonel tells Atlas, "What did you do? You scared the crew just before the mission. In this case, they will never be able to give their 100%. Atlas also realized his mistake, so she apologizes to Colonel. Anyway, these people were very close to that planet. Colonel puts on his robotic suit. Here Atlas tells Colonel, "If you think you have caught Harlan, then remember that her location will be a trap." Now these people were talking that suddenly alarms start ringing in the spaceship, and there was an explosion there, because Harlan had heard about their arrival, and Harlan was welcoming them by bombing them. Harlan's AI had completely destroyed their battleship. Here, to save Atlas, these people forcefully put Atlas in a robotic suit, and Atlas keeps explaining to them that no, I don't want to sit in this, I don't know how to operate it. But no one listens to her because their battleship was destroyed, and to save their lives, they had to jump directly on the planet. Now these people were in space, that their battle with many AI robots starts. Their battleship was also destroyed from above and was falling down. Seeing this, Atlas was scared because the battleship was right above it. In such a situation, he dies. But here an ICN soldier saves him. Colonel tells Atlas in a video message that you should use a neural link. But Atlas was not in his sight because he did not believe in the AI program. And because of doing this, his robotic suit falls down very hard. Because of which Atlas also gets hurt. She was unconscious. When she regained consciousness, there was no one around her. She tries to contact all the people, but this is not possible. She started crying. Unwillingly, she turns on her robotic suit system, because she wanted to reach her rescue pod soon to save her life. But the rescue pod was too far from her. Atlas asks her suit to take her to the rescue pod. This robotic suit listens to her and starts working. But he was jumping very hard. In such a situation, there were more chances for AI robots to see her. Atlas tells her to walk slowly, but she does not listen to his commands, because Atlas has not yet connected her to herself. Unwillingly, Atlas had to connect this machine to herself. And to do this, he scans her retina. After which, he began to understand Atlas's words to a great extent. Now, walking slowly, he was going to the rescue pod. On the way, Atlas asks him, "How many weapons do we have?" In response, the robot says that we have 7 weapons. One of the most powerful weapons is an iron bomb, a bomb that has the power to destroy half the planet. This robot calls Atlas Smith, but Atlas says, Was it necessary to tell the name? You are a computer program. In response, he says, no, it's not like that. On the way, these people reach far ahead, the place where their spaceship was destroyed. Here she sees that no soldier of ICN was left alive, because everyone was killed by AI robots. Atlas was saddened to think that the one who killed them was Harlan. She now asks her robotic suit to collect the tags of all these people, after which she prays for all of them. Harlan says that may God give peace to their souls, and may their souls go to heaven. She goes to Colonel's robotic suit, but she sees that Colonel is not in her suit. Nearby, she also sees Casca, Harlan's assistant, but she thinks that she killed Casca herself. But immediately she also thinks that Harlan must have made another one. On the way, there were a lot of AI robots here, who were now following Atlas. They move forward to attack Atlas, and to escape from them, Atlas runs ahead. There was a storm ahead. She didn't see it, and she was stuck in the storm. With great difficulty, she escaped from the storm. Now again, robots were standing in front of her to kill her. There were a lot of them. She couldn't escape from them, because she was not a ranger. She didn't know how to use weapons. That's why she orders her robot to use an iron bomb, although the robot didn't want to do this, but she has to obey Atlas's orders. As she watches, everything is destroyed with the robots. But the next day, Casca was coming to her. He didn't die from this attack. Before he could kill Atlas's robot and Atlas, suddenly earthquakes began to fall on the ground, and the ground broke. Atlas went inside the ground with her robot. Because of falling down, Atlas's leg was fractured. That's why Atlas's robot fixes a metal plate in her leg, so that her leg is damaged more. Due to this whole process, Atlas was in a lot of pain. That's why he gives Atlas a lollipop. The taste of this lollipop was very bad, but this lollipop had a lot of energy. Because this lollipop was made of protein, she thought that she won't be able to get out of the scene. That's when Smith, the reporter of the news, tells her that if she doesn't cooperate with him, then both of us will be in danger. You have to be completely linked with me. You should use your Neuralink device. After a lot of thinking, Atlas puts the device in her ear. And this way, these people are 100% synced. They connect with each other. On the other hand, Casca had informed Harlan about Atlas's arrival on her planet. We see that at this time, Harlan was imprisoned by the Colonel. He was still alive, but Harlan was torturing him a lot. Here, Atlas was thinking of getting out of the sinkhole made in the ground. But she knew that if she came out, the AI robots would be ready to kill her. Then Smith tells her that in this situation, we will need more power, and there is more danger up there. I have observed that there is a cave a few kilometers away. Let's go there. These people go to that cave. And after getting out of there, these people had succeeded in escaping from the AI robots. But unfortunately, a drone had fallen on them, because of which Casca had found out about them. As they were walking, Atlas reaches a desert where strange blue light was coming out of the mountains. And there were some plants and flowers there, and all these flowers were shining. Atlas liked it very much. That's why Atlas named them Planty. Smith knew that Casca had found out about their location, and he is going to follow them. That's why he plants a bomb behind him. As these people move forward, Casca comes from behind, and as soon as Casca came, Smith's bomb blasted. He thought that now Casca would have died. That's why Atlas goes back, and when she checks him, she sees that Casca's head is still there. To kill him, she crushes his head, and through the system in his head, she finds out that Harlan has gone there. In any case, she wanted to go to Harlan and attack her location, so that the next team of ICN could easily destroy Harlan. To go to Harlan and attack her location, Smith refuses Atlas. But because Atlas had to do this anyway, she removes Smith's neural link. As a result, because she was connected to Smith, but Smith was still attached to her. He shows her that time and tries to make her emotional when Harlan used to stay at Atlas's house. But Atlas tells her that it's not time to get emotional. If we don't take this step today, then all the people of ICN who have been martyred will lose their lives. Smith listens to her and moves forward. These people reach the base of Harlan. As soon as they reach, Atlas is surprised and worried because Harlan has their battleship and their bomb with which they can destroy half the planet. The technology here was also very high. Suddenly, a drone's eye falls on Smith. Many AI robots had come to attack him. Atlas wanted to save her life while running, but suddenly Smith falls. Something happened to him, as if someone had hacked him. As soon as Smith left, the message that Atlas was sending to the world was also stopped. Journalists on Earth were worried that Harlan might have their battleship. If this happens, then he will destroy the whole Earth. Here it is shown that Atlas was caught and brought in front of Harlan. Strangely, Harlan was happy to see him. He says to her, "You know how much I love you. Your mom too, she's our mom. Why do you think I'm wrong, Atlas? You know I'm doing Earth's good. The way humans are doing Earth, in a few years, Earth will be destroyed. But to prevent Earth from being destroyed, I plan to kill half the people on Earth, so that the rest of the people can live in peace in the world. And Harlan will do the work of protecting those half the people with her AI." Harlan tells Atlas, "It was my plan to get you here. I wanted the ICN to come here because I liked their battleship and I needed that powerful bomb to complete my mission." Now he asks Atlas for a laser security code so that he can enter Earth. But Atlas didn't know that code. Not knowing the code, Harlan started torturing him badly. There was a colonel there who was also being tortured by Harlan. The colonel asks Atlas where Smith is. In response, he says his battery is low. The colonel gives him his neural link and tells him to call Smith. Atlas contacts him. But Smith says, "I can't come to you because I couldn't 100% sync with you." After hearing this, Atlas was very angry. He felt that all the problems in the world are because of him. The colonel tells him, "It's not your fault, Atlas. Your mom made Harlan for good. She broke the security protocol and started all this work." The colonel tells him it's his fault. Atlas was crying. And the story goes to the flashback, where we see that his mom loves Harlan a lot. Atlas also needed the same love and protocol of his mom, so he started making himself like Harlan. She picks up the neural link and connects Harlan to her. At that time, Atlas was an innocent girl. She didn't know what could happen to her. Harlan took advantage of this. By controlling her mind, she broke all her security protocols and started wreaking havoc in the world. This was the only reason that Atlas was responsible for all these things, and neither did she talk to anyone. That's why she didn't even believe in AI and neural link. Crying, Atlas tells the colonel, "All this happened because of me. And because of me, my mom was killed. Because when Harlan was free, she wanted to kill me. But my mom chased me away, and she died." Smith was also listening to all this through the neural link, and this way, he connects 100% with her. Smith had come to her. Atlas frees herself and sits inside Smith, and they get ready to fight the robots here. Using Smith's 4 hands, Atlas had killed a lot of AI robots here very bravely. Harlan's space was in chaos. That's why Harlan comes here to check all this. Before Atlas and Smith fight, Atlas sees in the sky where the battleship was going to wreak havoc on the world. Atlas knew that her battleship would wreak havoc on Earth, so she starts firing to stop the battleship. Her attempt is successful because the battleship was destroyed. And seeing this, Harlan goes mad. She takes out a sword from her hand to fight Atlas. She was going to fight Smith. Smith was connected to Atlas because she knew Harlan. That's why she understood Harlan's moves and started fighting her. But she couldn't succeed because Harlan had attacked Smith's power system. Because of this, Atlas got shocked and fainted. To save Atlas, Smith opens himself and takes Atlas out of his body. He was also fighting Harlan with his other hand to stop Atlas. But he couldn't overpower Harlan. Harlan attacks her AI system. Before she destroys all her systems, she attacks and kills Harlan. It was Atlas who regained consciousness. She looks at Smith because he saved her life. Smith and Atlas became friends. Unwillingly, Atlas befriended an AI. Smith decides to disable himself to save Atlas, because it's not easy to survive on the planet. He has so much power that Atlas gets oxygen for the next few hours. Because Smith didn't like Atlas, she didn't want him to be disabled. But Smith gives him a coffee lollipop and disables himself. Because of this, Atlas gets emotional. After a while, the ICM team came to rescue Atlas. After that, the scene got cut, and we see Atlas in the world. He came to meet Juvenile, and he asks him to guess what gift he got for Juvenile. Atlas says nothing. Juvenile opens a box. Juvenile found a plant named Planty on Harlan's planet. It was a gift for Atlas from his friend Smith. All the parents of Juvenile were thanking Atlas for getting their tags back. Atlas becomes silent, and Juvenile turns back. Atlas stops Juvenal and says thank you for trusting me. Juvenal makes Atlas believe that he defeated Harlan on another planet. Now the world is safe because of Atlas. Atlas has become a ranger, and this is what she always wanted. We see that she went to test the new AI robot suit, which she designed according to her. After sitting in it, she syncs herself 100% with the robot without fear. Because this robot was her friend Smith who was rescued that day. Atlas felt very confident with Smith, and the story ends here.